So if there's one thing I learned in life, that one thing would be that you can't be afraid to walk away. There's this quote that I think I've read in 48 Laws of Power. It was in some book, and it was like, "He who cares the least has the power." And when I read that quote, I was like, "Damn, that makes a lot of sense, right?" If you think back like a bunch of situations where you've had that dynamic, it's like, okay, this makes sense. Especially like, let's say you were interested in a girl, right, and you showed a lot of interest, and they didn't show interest in you, and it's not when until you pull back that interest or you showed that you didn't care is when they showed interest in you. It's just weird how that dynamic works sometimes, but it happens often, right? But for me, a situation where that's impacted my life was when I was looking to purchase a car a few years back, and I went to a dealership. I was gonna pay. My budget was $10,000, right? I was gonna pay $10,000 cash for a car, any car that I found, and that was it. I wasn't going no higher than that. So I walked into this dealership, and I saw a Nissan Altima, and I think they were selling it for like 10,500. So I went to the guy. I was like, "Yeah, I want this car, and I'll pay $10,000 cash." So he goes on the phone, calls this guy, and he's talking to this guy on the phone, and then he hands the phone over to me, and I'm talking to the guy, and he's like, "Yeah, if I sell you the car for like 10,000, I'm gonna lose some money on it. It costs more than that." And I was like, "Nah, I understand. It's just that my budget is $10,000." He's like, "Well, we have some other cars, available. Would you be willing to look at those?" I said, "Yeah, I'll look at them, but there's no guarantee that I'll buy it, but I'll take a look." So I hand the phone over back to the guy, and then they're talking for a few minutes, and then he's like, "All right, well, I'll sell it to you for 9,500, but then you got to take care of registration." And I was like, "All right, so how much registration costs?" He's like, $300-400. I said, "Okay, cool." So then he goes back. They're talking again, and then like a few minutes later, he's like, "All right, we'll just sell it for you 10,000, and we'll take care of everything." I was like, "All right, cool." I mean that makes more sense, right? You might lose money. So. And I was able to get it for 10,000 cash. I went to the bank, got the cashier's check, boom, bought the car $10,000 cash. And for me, it was just like I was willing to walk away from that deal, And I was like, you know what? Of course I need the car. I need a car, but I'm not. If that's my budget, and I'm not willing to go higher than that, then I need to stick to that. No matter how much I want the car, okay? I could just go somewhere else. But showing that much constraint and saying, all right, you know what? I'm not going above my budget, and if I have to walk away from this deal, then I'll do it. And eventually got me the car that I wanted. Okay, and that's sometimes how you gotta approach life sometimes. Like especially like when you're looking for a home, right? You're looking for a car, looking for a house. You want it so bad. It's when people know that you want something so bad. It's when they take advantage of you or they try to hike up the price, right? And sometimes they tell you that like don't show your emotions. Don't show that you want something too bad, because then eventually they'll know that, and they say, all right, that'll give the leverage to that person. So it's just that in situations like that, you want to make sure that when it comes to trying to get something that you want, always understand that you can't be afraid to walk away. Right, you can't be afraid to walk away. If you want to make sure you have the power in that situation, be willing to walk away, and you'll see great results. And especially for me in that situation, that I was able to get that car for $10,000 cash. I was like, all right, cool, man. That's exactly what I wanted. I was not willing to go above my budget. The 10,000 was the max, and then that was it. And that person eventually, I mean, obviously he gave me all the reasons why he didn't want to sell me the car, because losing money or for whatever reason. And not only that, I bought it in November. And you know how they talk about how if you're going to buy a car, buy it like later in the year, because obviously they're trying to get rid of inventory. I'm not sure if that's the case or not, but for me it worked out. So whatever was going through that person's mind, whatever he was thinking about when he was trying to sell me the car, clearly it worked out in my favor. And it was because I was unwilling to I was willing to walk away if I had to. And that's something that's always stuck with me in any situation that makes sense, right? There's some situations where you want something really bad, and eventually you got to make the deal. You got to make the best deal for yourself. But in this case, it's like, you know what? Like, hey, Ralph, if it doesn't work out in your favor, then you just go somewhere else and look for another car, right? It's just one vehicle, and you can get a vehicle like that anywhere. So so those are my thoughts. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Maybe have you ever had a situation where you were willing to just walk away, and it worked out in your favor, right? Leave a comment down below, hit the like button, share, and if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe. Right, so guys, take care and have a good one. Later.